My name is Sarah Coleman, and I need to share something that completely transformed my life. For weeks I've been searching for the right words to describe what happened to me. It was such a significant experience that I cannot keep it to myself. On April 3rd, 2023, I went through something unimaginable. For 12 minutes I was clinically dead. My heart stopped and my lungs ceased to function. But during those minutes, I didn't just plunge into darkness. I found myself in a place so real and intense that I am still trying to understand its meaning. What I discovered was not just for me, but a message for all of us. Allow me to introduce myself better. I have been an emergency nurse for over a decade. I've always viewed the world through science and reason, focusing on what is tangible. In the emergency room, I've witnessed as much suffering as incredible human strength. If someone had told me a year ago that I would be here telling a story about death, resurrection, and a direct message from Jesus Christ, I would have found it absurd. That morning started normally. I decided to go for an early run to clear my mind. The neighborhood streets were quiet, a light mist hung in the air, and I enjoyed the chill as I ran. I looked at the clock, 5:12 in the morning. Everything seemed ordinary, until, in the blink of an eye, everything changed. I don't remember the impact, but later I learned that a distracted driver on their phone hit me while I was crossing the street. One moment I was alive, running peacefully. The next, only darkness, and it was in that darkness that I discovered the line between life and death is thinner and more extraordinary than imagined. I expected to find only the void and silence of death, but I ended up discovering a place more incredible than anything I had ever imagined. The first thing that struck me was the light. It wasn't like anything we know, neither sun nor lamp. It was something entirely different, pure, welcoming, and alive. It enveloped me completely, not only illuminating the space around me, but bringing a peace so profound that it surpassed everything I had ever experienced. It's hard to explain, but this peace was a total absence of fear, anxiety, pain, or sadness. It was as if all the weight I carried during life simply vanished. For the first time, I felt truly at home, complete and light. As I tried to understand that wonder, I began to see colors, vibrant tones I had never seen before. The air seemed to pulse with energy, alive with a kind of music. It wasn't a sound coming from a specific place, but a symphony of joy and love, filling every corner, as if happiness itself had turned into music and enveloped me in waves. It was then that, in the midst of that welcoming light, I saw someone approaching. It was my father. My heart almost stopped. He had passed away when I was a teenager. But there he was, in front of me, young and healthy, as if time had not passed. His smile was exactly as I remembered, but there was something different about him now. A purity, a glow that I can't explain. "Sarah?" he said with a voice full of love. "You don't need to be afraid. He is waiting for you." Before I could organize my thoughts or say anything, he reached out and held my hand. At that moment, it was as if all the questions I ever wanted to ask were answered without a single word. What did my father mean by, "He is waiting"? The answer would change not only my life, but my understanding of everything that exists. I felt a connection so strong with my father, a deep and comforting peace. "There is something you need to see," he said. At that moment, the light around us became more intense, as if it had a purpose. It was then that I saw Jesus. It's almost impossible to describe him. He wasn't like in paintings or books. He was both human and divine, with a unique presence that I had never felt before. His love was something you could feel in the air, filling the entire space, and his power was unmistakable. When he looked at me, his eyes reached my soul, seeing not only who I was at that moment, but who I had been and who I would still be. It was as if he understood every little piece of me, the good, the bad, the hidden, and the forgiven. I fell to my knees, not out of fear, but out of deep reverence, a humility that is hard to explain. Without saying anything, he placed his hand on my shoulder. "Sarah," he said with a gentle yet authoritative voice. "There is something you need to see, something my people need to know before I return." Then he showed me 4 astonishing visions. The first was called the Great Distraction. I saw people everywhere hypnotized by phones, tablets, and screens, families sitting together, but not talking, friends side by side, more interested in social media than in each other. "This is how the enemy works," Jesus explained. "He keeps everyone distracted with fleeting things, making them forget what is eternal. Tell my people to wake up and turn their hearts back to me." The second vision was the Great Deception. I saw people mesmerized by beautiful lights and voices in the sky. Charismatic beings appeared speaking of peace and unity, but their words mixed truth and lies. Even the faithful were swayed by promises of a perfect world, not realizing they were being deceived. "These are not mine," warned Jesus. "They will mix truth with lies, leading many astray. Tell my people to stand firm in my word. It is the only foundation that cannot be shaken." The third vision was the Great Awakening, and this filled me with hope. Waves of light spread across the world as people returned to God. Families united in prayer, communities renewed in worship, and miracles happened everywhere. But along with this awakening came persecution. Believers were mocked, attacked, and even killed for their faith, but their joy remained unshakable. "My spirit will move with power in those days," Jesus promised, "but the cost of following me will be high. Tell them to stand firm, for the reward is eternal." The fourth and final vision was the Great Return. The sky opened, and there he was, coming in glory with thousands of angels. The whole world stood in awe. Every knee bowed, every tongue confessed that Jesus Christ is Lord. Some in worship, others in terror, but all recognized his power. It was the most incredible thing I have ever seen. And then, as suddenly as it began, I was back. Alive. Breathing, heart beating again. "Sarah," he said, with a gentle yet powerful voice, "the world is on the brink of an unprecedented time. You have seen a glimpse of what is to come, but remember, I am always with you and with my people. My love is constant, and my promises are firm and unshakable in trials. Even when everything seems chaotic, those who trust in me will have peace, a peace that surpasses understanding." He paused, and the light around him grew stronger, radiating warmth and tranquility. It was as if his presence dispelled all fear. "You will have moments of doubt," he continued. "But no, I chose you not because you are perfect, but because you are willing to follow. Do not rely on your strength, but on mine. And remember, this message is not just yours. My Spirit will guide you, giving the right words at the right time." Before I could think or speak, he placed his hand on my heart. How? At that instant, a wave of love washed over me, so strong that it made me cry. It was a love beyond anything I had ever known, limitless, unconditional, unbreakable. "Tell my people," he spoke with tenderness yet full of power, "that I see their struggles, fears, and failures. I am not far from their pain. I am the God who heals, who restores, who makes all things new. They are never alone. I am always with them." What happened after this experience transformed not only my life, but the lives of all who heard my testimony. Then Jesus said, "Sarah, go back, tell them I will return soon." In a flash I was back. First feeling chest pain and shortness of breath, I opened my eyes and saw the relieved paramedics whispering, "She's back." My recovery from the accident was inexplicable to the doctors, but I knew the truth. In the hospital I went over every moment. My Father, Jesus, the visions I knew I needed to share. Some listened with awe, others with doubt. Jesus had already warned me about this. My experience was not just a story of death and return to life. It was an urgent warning and a message of hope. The time is coming, and each of us has a choice to make. The distractions of the world can blind us, but God's love remains constant, calling us back to Him. Don't wait until it's too late. The greatest awakening in history is coming, and you are invited to be part of it. I hope this message has touched your heart and inspired your faith. Comment renewed faith below, and share this video with friends. Don't forget to subscribe for more life-changing content.